So I'm sitting here with See Me Escape. They consist of Brandon Kinnard, singer and guitar player,
Yo.
Justin Anderson, bassist, and Brooke Ludke, the drummer. They're from Luxembourg, Wisconsin, and you could classify them as alternative pop-punk music. We're sitting here having a pretty good time. So See Me Escape.
Yeah, everyone's having a good time.
You guys are from Luxembourg. Whereabouts is that?
It's a little southwest of Germany.
No, but seriously, it's probably about 15 miles or so northeast of Green Bay, Titletown.
So kind of like in the Door County Peninsula.
Yeah, it's up in the peninsula. We're about half hour south of Sturgeon Bay or so. So.
All right. Well, could you guys enlighten me on a little bit of history behind See Me Escape?
I guess I'll take that one. We have what I'd consider to be a pretty interesting history. It started out as a comedy band. I wasn't in it originally. Brooke and Justin were in it with a couple of other people, and then about halfway through I joined it. The band was called Choir Boy Dream Wrecker. But halfway through I joined, and thus Lost in Stereo began, which was our old band name, and that was around last June, and then we've progressed since then, played a lot of shows, written a lot of songs, and had a good time.
How'd you guys get your name?
There is a TV show called Futurama, and there's a character, his name is Zoidberg, and he has like this saying, and it goes like...
You want me to do it?
Yes, you're
Probably.
the best at it.
Probably. Alright, well, Zoidberg, if you aren't familiar with the show, loves to go... Consider that whooping or scuttling.
But what does that have to do with your name?
Brooke, that's all you, man.
Well, he goes, there's a line in an episode where he goes, have you seen me?
Did you see me escaping? I was all like, woo! So, there went the See Me Escape thing. We actually had a hell of a time prior to that trying to think of a name. Like I said, we were Lost in Stereo, which was named after an all-time low song, Lost in Stereo, and then we just decided to go away from that route, and we went through literally probably 15 options before Brooke finally suggested See Me Escape, and love it.
Well, speaking of your band, what would you consider to be like your writing style?
You mean like the way we write songs?
Like, how do you guys put together your songs and stuff?
Well, what happens usually is one of us will get an idea for a song, and I sort of have the outline ready and the lyrics ready, basically just the structure, and then I'll bring it in and I'll introduce it, and we all fill in our parts. Brooke fills in awesome drum parts, Justin gets the wicked bass parts.
All right. Who writes the lyrics in the band?
I write most of the lyrics.
I've written a lyric, so I got that going for me.
What was it? Don't Make a Sound?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, in August 27th, so.
All right. Well.
Yeah, I write most of the lyrics.
All right. Who are your guys' influences as a band, or separately?
Well, we definitely all have separate interests. I have a very eclectic size of influences. That's not the right term at all. Very eclectic influences. My best one is probably All Time Low. They're old stuff. Not a fan of the new stuff per se, but All Time Low is a big influence for me. I also really like Yellow Card, and then I just take a lot of influence from other areas, a lot of 80s music, a lot of early punk music like the Ramones, and a lot of pop music. I really just like generic pop music, and that's why sometimes our structures might seem kind of generic, but
like what kind of pop artists would you...
I think Lady Gaga is the most advanced pop artist that I like. A Kesha fan, Jason Derulo, stuff like that. I really like Bruno Mars as well. So a lot of stuff like that you might sense influence, and I think that's becoming more true as we write more and more music.
Brooke or Justin, do you guys have anything to?
Well, I draw influence from punk pop music to All Time Low. I draw a little influence of my bass playing from some early All Time Low, and actually could hear the bass. Blank, Mark Hoppus is definitely.
I like your hear the bass reference.
Yeah, Mark Hoppus is definitely my biggest influence as a bass player. Just the presence in their songs is inspiring for me. And then I'm a big fan of 90s alternative music, and I draw some influence out of that too.
And for me, I think any drummer always would look up to Travis Barker because he's amazing at what he does, and I think anybody can pick something out of his technique to use for their own. And I also like Chad Smith of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. His technique is also very good, and I like to incorporate it into my stuff.
Yeah, and, we all have a common interest in music and what we listen to and what we take influence from, but I think what really gives us the advantage is the fact that we all take influence from different places. Like Justin, as he said, listens to a lot of 90s alternative. Brooke and I, both listen to pop music occasionally, and, just obviously we all listen to the modern day pop punk stuff, and then classic punk as well. We all come from different musical areas, and I think blending them it all comes together right now over me. Which brings up a good point, because we've actually covered that song in the past, a Beatles song up in here. So as you can tell, we all have a lot of different interests, and it stems into our music.
No, I can definitely tell that that having different musical tastes can give you a great advantage when writing your songs. Speaking of your songs, do you guys have a favorite song or favorite lines from your songs?
I'd have to say my favorite song as an artist is Resist, Resist. That song is the most meaningful song I've written, especially lyrically, and I think it's the most advanced musically as well. It's got a different structure, it's got a hell of a breakdown in it, and it takes influence. It's a different style. Two of our songs, Sorry I Killed Your Boyfriend and Resist, Resist, really both have different sounds, and I like that about them. Resist, Resist has a lot of my biggest influence in that were Taking Back Sunday and Fall Out Boy, which seems like a weird combination, but it's a lot different from the rest of the stuff as far as my influences go. So that's my favorite one artistically. My favorite song to play live would have to be August 27th, just because it's high energy, it's fun to play, the crowd always gets going, and I get a solo in it, so I mean, you gotta love that.
I'm gonna have to agree on the first one musically, and like a song that I think I would listen to and I like a lot for that reason is Resist Resist. It's probably our most complex song musically and structurally, and I like that. As long as a live song goes, probably Sorry I Killed Your Boyfriend. It's just a fun song to play with the sarcastic lyrics and stuff, and plus I get a bass solo in that, so
Boom!
Bam!
And I'm going to have to agree with Justin on the live performance. Sorry I Killed Your Boyfriend is just really up-tempo, fun to play, gets people dancing a little bit. And also with the other two members, Resist Resist is probably our best song we've written, and it's very complex, so I enjoy that song as well.
So, would you guys say that you have any favorite lines of any of your songs, or?
Lyrically, overall, I'd say August 27th is definitely my favorite. Took the longest to write out of any of them. We spent probably 2 months on that from start to finish, and usually we crank them out in a couple of practices, but August 27th we just ironed it up lyrically, and the lyrics mean a lot to me. Every single line in that song means something. A lot of times, and people might deny this, but any band has lyrics that are just filler lyrics occasionally, and August 27th does not have a single one of those. And another thing I really like is we're all best friends, and that song is about our friendship, so it really relates to us. We really have a fun time with it. And another lyric I really like is one in Resist Resist, which I mentioned that song means the most to me emotionally. And in the bridge, the lyric is, "We cover up our lust with love," which I actually wrote 2 years ago and then finally just incorporated into a song, but that's a lyric that I really personally like.
Yeah, I'd have to agree for the most part. I definitely like August 27th. It's representative, representing our friendship, and that means a lot to me. As a whole, on lyrics like Resist Resist, I like a lot too. They're very meaningful lyrics to Brandon, so that's nice. And then you gotta like the lyrics of Sorry I Killed Your Boyfriend. They're sarcastic, they're fun, and it's just, yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And I will also agree with August 27th. There's a line in the song, "Tonight's the night we turn this summer around," and once again, it just means a lot to us that we went through the experience together and wrote a song about it.
we had a hell of a summer.
We did.
A lot of stuff happened, good and bad, and it all comes out in that song on August 27th. Ha!
So I can tell that you guys are really, really good friends. You guys are really close. Do you guys... I know you guys have a lot of great memories as friends, but do you guys have best memories as a band?
I'd probably say our group showers before every show. It's a bonding experience for us mostly.
Just actually want to clarify, Brooke is not involved in those group showers. It's mostly just Justin and I. So, you know.
Well,
Scrub here and wash there.
Moving on.
Men can usher another man in the wonderful world of Oz.
Woo!
Okay.
Anyway.
Well, my best memory I think would have to be played a Battle of the Bands at UW Oshkosh where we attend school. And I just think it was our first show and it was a great atmosphere. I don't think we could have asked for a better first show. The crowd was really into us and I think it just went really well. We didn't win, but it still went really good for us.
We were up against some big competition in that one
were.
though, so. Justin?
My favorite show to play was probably a show we played back in our hometown. It was called Voo Fest because it was held at a place called The Rendezvous. And I think my best memory there was we made somebody pass out during our show. So
Did you seriously make someone pass out?
Well, they passed out, but I'd like to assume that our music made her pass out, but she probably just got warm and passed out. So.
I'm going to go with it was our music. Even though we were playing a cover at that time, I think we covered it so awesomely that...
What cover were you guys playing?
Semi-Charmed Life by Third Eye Blind.
Great song.
I love that song.
Probably our best cover.
Yeah.
Really like to play that one. But as far as my favorite band memory goes, I'll agree with Brooke. Battle of the Bands as a first show was great. But I got to agree with Justin more. I've loved all of our shows. But Voo Fest was just great. We sold a lot of merch. Plus, we had groupies that night. You know, anyone who says they don't enjoy having groupies is just lying. Because to have people come up to you and say that they love you it can never be demoralizing at all. It's so that was just a great show, and we played with a lot of bands. Some of my best memories that night come from not only being up on stage, but just hanging out and watching the other bands play. From back in our hometown, there's this band called Thank You the Management who puts that show on. They do a great job. They're really fun to watch. And another band called Tomorrow's Yesterday, who they're all really young kids, like 15, 16, but they put on a great show. They do a lot of good covers, and they're just fun to watch. And also another band that was there, my friend Eric Coppersmith's band, Spiral Towards the Sky. They're sort of like a metal ambient kind of band from Green Bay. So go check those bands out because they're our friends, and they put on amazing shows, and they're just great to watch. So.
Well, speaking of bands that you guys have played with, have you guys played with anyone else at other shows other than Voo Fest?
We have played a couple shows with Baywood Park and along with A Familiar Voice. The Battle of Bands that we spoke about before, we played with Nicole Ray and the Traveling Suitcase. I Am Atlas, The End Result. Anyone else I'm forgetting?
We played with a guy named Kevin Castillo, who has a little project called Castles. Played with a lot of different bands to this point, which is weird because we've only played 5 or 6 shows, but just with a lot of different local bands, and we're getting to know them and sort of getting to make friends with other bands around. So that's real fun.
Yeah, networking is a great thing to do when you are in a band. Do you guys have recordings of your songs?
Well, no. We're all poor college kids, so we really don't have the money, and we've got some money coming in from selling merch and things like that. So that's definitely at or near, if not at the top of our list of things to do. There's nothing I would love more than to get songs up there because as musicians we think our music is good. We might be biased, but we've had nothing but positive feedback from shows, and it's just catchy stuff that I think the world wants to hear. So we're gonna try and get it out there, and hopefully you guys will dig it.
If you guys could pick just one song, if you were only able to record one song, what do you think you guys would record?
I hate that you asked that.
That's too hard.
We've been contemplating that for a long time.
That's one of our problems with recording as well, is we just don't know what song it would be if we just did one. So which is probably all we're gonna have the money for. So.
If I had to say one, it would probably be August 27th because at this point, probably our best put together song because we've been playing it probably the longest. So it would probably be that.
It's got the